If you're looking for the best TV under $600 that's not going to break the bank and still give you premium picture quality, buy the Hisense U6G. The Hisense U6G has 10.2 milliseconds of input lag for gamers, so even though it's not HDMI 2.1, you still can game competitively online. If you're somebody that watches movies, the full array local dimming algorithm is one of the best I've ever seen regardless of price point, and you have an astronomical 13.5 thousand to 1 contrast ratio. Can we just take a step back and remember that at this price point, you'd be lucky if you got local dimming, and usually when you get local dimming, it's probably done really poorly, right? And you don't get the quantum dots behind it. Or when you get the quantum dots, they put it in like an IPS screen, or they make the screen really hazy. But Hisense is not only giving you one of the most vibrant images with quantum dot color that you could possibly afford at this price point, but they're also wrapping it in some of the deepest black levels I've ever seen on an LED set, especially at this price point. I mean, this period, just throwing it out there, is the absolute best budget TV black level experience I've ever had. But it's starting to creep past the budget territory as far as black level performance and exceeding TVs like the Sony X90J even. It's something that you really have to see to believe because it's truly spectacular to watch happen. And another thing that's really shocking is even though in SDR you have a peak brightness, a maximum peak of 603 nits, and in HDR you have a maximum brightness of 633 nits, it's still mapped correctly in both HDR and SDR as far as the dynamic range is concerned. In English, you basically have the highlights where they should be. A lamp is going to appear very bright as it should, and the background is going to be dark as it should in a darker scene. Like, things make sense. There's none of that extra haze garbage that you're going to find on these other brands like Sony, namely with the Sony X80J, and Samsung with the Samsung Q60A. I mean, I can't express just how shocking it is for $529. You are getting a TV that beats even flagship LED experiences that I've experienced on this channel. And let me be very clear, the black levels on this TV are better than the Samsung QN85A, the Samsung QN90A. Those are the new next generation quantum matrix technology mini LED TVs coming out of Samsung, and this TV had less blooming than those TVs. That says everything about the direction of both companies, and I'm telling you right now, you're getting this for $529. But it doesn't just stop there, because everything I said in my preliminary review holds up here as well. You're still getting a really nice backwards compatible device with legacy consoles and VCRs and things like that, because you have the hookups for it. And I mean, yeah, sure, it's not going to do every feature on the market that some people will want. I understand that. But at the end of the day, I think for $529, you're not going to find anything better. Now, at this point, you must be wondering, okay, what's the catch with this thing? Nothing is this perfect. And you'd be absolutely right. There is one massive deal breaker, and that is simply put, there is no soap opera effect motion processing of any kind. If you want motion processing features or presets, they're just not here. You're going to have to step up to the Hisense U7G or something else. Because at the end of the day, they just omitted that entirely. Now, for me, that really sucks, but I did end up testing it. I watched some TV shows. I watched Sword Art Online, Alicization, and I watched some other stuff like on USA through Hulu and whatnot, just seeing how the performance was. It was smooth enough and it was acceptable enough that I didn't notice it as a huge problem. Gaming, on the other hand, is pretty jittery, and you may or may not be able to deal with it depending on the frame rate of the game. So anytime I played 60 FPS games on PC or whatever, that was smooth, that was fine. I had no issue. But 30 FPS games are definitely going to be a little bit more on the jittery side, and that's where it may get a little make or break for you. So that's something you might want to think about. But oddly enough, movies are really good. This may be due to the fact that there is an AI feature in the television that actually recognizes the content, and you literally just toggle it on or off in the menu system. And I think that's really cool because, again, you don't have AI features like that typically on budget sets where you have auto content recognition. Like that is incredible to see at just $529. This TV really does cover all its bases. The one other thing I would say, While HDR isn't inherently bad and you can absolutely get the colors out of it and get the punch that you're looking for, not going to be as good as their step-up models. And if you're serious about HDR, I would pay a little extra and get the U7G or the U8G, because the HDR on this is just too dim in my personal experience to really deliver those impactful HDR highlights. But even still, I think it's adequate enough for most people, and I think for what you're getting, for the money especially, there really isn't anything you can compare to it, especially now as of June 29th, 2021. So long story short, buy it. I think you can stop the search. You don't have to look around aimlessly trying to find something just for somebody to have misled you. With this TV, you know you're not going to be lugging it up and down the stairs a million and one times because the quality is there.